Hello everyone, Sabrina here, and today I wanted to talk to you about adding a nose wire to a 3D mask. So I posted a video last week, I'll go ahead and link it for you, where I showed you how I film the 3D masks using the free Japanese sewing books pattern, which I'll also link below in the description. So after I posted that video, I got a couple questions asking about how I insert the nose wire, so I decided to make a quick video to show you guys that process. Here is the mask all finished. This is the one that I made to show you guys the nose wire placement. I just found this fabric at Joann's in the remnant section last week, and I knew it had to become a couple masks, so I was happy to finally get to make a mask out of this fabric. But I added the nose wire to the inside. It's nice and pliable, and it fits very well, so I will show you how I do that here in a moment. The most important thing that you'll need for adding a nose wire to your mask, aside from the mask fabric, is a pliable wire. This is actually a beading wire, and I'm fairly certain that it's a 26 gauge. I did get it at Joann Fabric just in the beading section for necklaces and bracelets and whatnot. I chose to go with the copper because that's what they had in stock. But the most important part of it is that it is pliable. It is easily bent, but not so easily bent that a quick bonk will distort the shape. So you want to look for something that's easy, that isn't going to cause a ton of pain if you're wearing it all day long. And I find that this gauge of wire really works well for masks. It feels like it's more comfortable once the cotton surrounds it. So I've had good experiences with this. I've also used a floral wire, but with floral wire, you do have to be careful that it isn't too pliable. After bending it a few times, I've had a couple breaks. So I'm happy with the beading wire, and hopefully that works for you guys as well.
Okay, so once you have your mask pattern laid out and you have the top stitching here, right sides together, now we're going to actually work on the portion of the mask where you insert the nose wire. So you want that nose wire to be up here on the bridge. And as you can see, I've already snipped my edges as well. And that actually helps to keep the point in the bridge of your mask. So that'll be an important part of the next step. Once your mask is inside out, you want to go ahead and make sure that you iron down all edges of your mask. This is really important, especially up here on the bridge of the nose. Before we place that nose wire, you want to make sure that these seams are pressed flat to allow for easier top stitching and for the nose wire to stay in place. All right, now that your mask is ironed flat, you can see how much more crisp the edges are. I really like the way that it helps with the finished look. But now that you have those nice, crisp, clean edges, we're going to go ahead and place your nose wire in. You can see it's not perfectly bent, and that is not a requirement. So I place it in there, and I just sort of feel with my hand where the bridge of the nose is. I line the wire up there. Now you literally cannot see what I'm doing, but this is basically how I do it. So I line up the wire. I can feel that the tip is here. I can feel that either end is over here. So this end is a little further down. It's about a ½ inch from the front. And this end is actually kind of right on the edge there. So what I'll do is I'll take it out and I'll just kind of bend it a little just to try to get it to be a bit of a better shape. Lay it down again. Make any other little adjustments that I feel are needed. And then I'll lay it back down to see if that is the right shape. Now, I usually err on the side of having a little too much curve here, because then once it's in there, this actually allows the wire to sit a little better in the seam. So I would much rather have it be a little more bent towards the top of the mask than bent out, because then you're fighting with it as you're top stitching. But once you've top stitched, it'll kind of fall in the right place. So again, I'm just going to go here. Oh, I'm going to flip my wire. There we go. Put my wire in. Feel that it's in the right spot. All right, that feels really good. So what I'll do now is put a couple clips in place just to ensure that that wire isn't going to go anywhere during my trip to the sewing machine. All right, so with those in place, let's go ahead and take it over to the sewing machine and we will stitch it down. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and actually top stitch the edge of this mask, and I still have the clips. You can kind of see the tip right here. I've got the clips in place. I'm going to start at the edge here just like I normally would. I don't do the casing for the nose wire separately. I do it all together. But we'll start here, do a couple stitches, back stitch, and then continue forward. Now once you get to the corner here, flip this towards you and then place your presser foot back down, just being mindful that the wire is going to start right here around this clip, and I always kind of leave my finger here just to feel for it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove my clip. Feel for that wire, I can see it right here. And I kind of keep my hand against it just to be sure. This is also why I top stitched a little further in from where I generally do when I make these masks, just to give myself that extra space for the casing for the nose wire. And I just go slow. I mean, it's for some people, I'm sure it's probably a little scary to think about like sewing over a wire, but I have found that if I just go slow and press on the wire and just remember where it is, I don't have nearly as much of an issue. Okay, so once you get to the point of the bridge, you're going to pick up your presser foot and pivot again to get that more diagonal angle. I went ahead and stitched down the bottom side as well, and now all we have to do is continue making the mask the same way that you would using the pattern.
All right, so now that you've seen the process of making the mask, here is the finished product. I really loved the way this turned out. I'm excited to wear it, very springy, so I'm happy to have this in my little stash of masks, probably stick it in my car here in the next few days. But if you have any questions about the process, please leave them below in the comments, or you can find me on Instagram as well at Sangreena619. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you like this kind of content. And if you have any questions or requests, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I love chatting with you guys down there. If you haven't already and you'd like to join our sewing circle, please feel free to subscribe. I post videos every Thursday. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful day.